We have so much to talk about here. If you don't know me, I'm Michelle. This is Angel Souls. I am an angel medium, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I want to go back to those plane crashes. We're going to talk about that a little bit and what sort of strange events you personally might be experiencing. Now, do keep in mind that this is a general overview. We're covering some spiritual topics here. If you feel like it's right for you and you want to work with me one-on-one, you can get a digital reading that would be available at angelsouls444.com. If you're outside the US or you want a live session, email me at angelsouls444@gmail.com and we'll get you all set up. I do have appointments still for this week, so for live sessions, a couple of them, not many, but I do have a couple of sessions open. Email me and I can get you set up. Or if this week isn't going to work, we can go a couple of weeks out. I think that would be okay. So, where to begin? I feel like we should first begin with our Super Bowl. Now, I don't want to add to any sort of programming thing, but I kind of liked what went down. Some of you are going to be like, how dare you say such things because you're reading into it and stuff. No. It's surface level, but that was a great breakthrough. And some really wonderful things happened during that game. I'm not even into football, but I kind of got into this. And certainly there was a lot of messaging that normally I would be kind of like, oh, using this game as, a thing for your political agendas. I don't think it was political, baby. I think it's beyond politics. I think that's a little bit of subtle foreshadowing of what's to come. People are standing up for their rights. People are sick of being steamrolled, of being controlled, of being taken advantage of or taken for granted. Now, this is going to be in the world for major, major problems around the world. There's a heavy word, and that word is genocide. And that is happening in so many places right now, all over the world. And that will continue unless some of us step up and stop it. Now, some of you think, well, it's surface level stuff. That's how we make this all stop. That's fine if that's part of your soul's path, but that's not everyone's soul's path. I am far more powerful sitting back. People think I'm not taking action, but baby, I'm taking the action. I am tuned in. I am activated. I'm doing what I know how to do best. And some of you out there have a similar life's path, and you have similar abilities. We are coming into a time where it's going to be quite all right to be a weirdo. So, raise your hands up, spiritual practitioners. It's okay to be the weirdos. It's okay. It's okay to come on out and say that you're a starseed. It's okay to come on out and say that you study all the esoteric arts or one esoteric art, whatever the case may be, that you channel. You're going to be able to do that. And I was just actually doing a reading for someone, and I think it'd be okay to share this here. And this would be about DNA activation. And, I know a lot of people are talking about sort of the mechanics of that DNA activation. Yes, that's a big topic, but to put it simply for our purposes here, the more you are flowing with the earth changes, okay? Changes in humanity, making the best of it. Boy, if there was a time for mindfulness, it's now, okay? Making the most of it, making the best of it, being okay if things are not okay. The more and more you can handle that, the more you're going to upgrade. Now, we're putting this in a very human kind of way, because you might be sitting there suffering from depression and you might go, oh, great. After all, I'm going to be left behind because I can't control this sadness. You're not being left behind, baby. No. You're not being left behind. We've got you, and you're one of us, most likely. So you're just going through, I don't want to downplay this. Always make sure you're getting proper help with anything psychological or medical. Don't just use a spiritual excuse to explain it away. Get help, okay? But spiritually speaking, this could be a part of, your process, and realizing that sense of not belonging, or that sense of being misunderstood, or really just feeling like a fish out of water, that can get to you after a while. So part of this DNA activation, and that what I call like an upgrade, is coming every time you're doing your spiritual practice, and it's coming every time you're allowing your guides and your angels to bring another clue. And that's the beautiful thing about the times to come. If you've come across this video, we always say we think you get attracted to the message that you need. Chances are very, very good that you're going to get those subtle realizations about your origins, what you're doing on this planet, and even what your powers are. Now, again, I'm not saying that to, feed your ego, but you might realize, hey, you know what? I did come from a warrior type place. Why am I acting like a doormat? Like, I know how to stand up for myself. I know how to take care of business. I know how to maintain my wisdom and my strength without being chipped away at. I know how to regenerate my light and protect my light. Now, for others who get attracted to videos like this, especially when you're attracted to my energy, there are dark beings out there as well. And they want to drag me to their side and punish me if I don't follow. So you'll have that, I guess. I don't know. They're just going to have to keep trying, because it's like watching the bodies hit the bubble around me and just going, well, you made your choices. I don't know what to tell you. So you will be getting these little mysteries solved. And it's sort of like a riddle finally opening up, or little surprises, little Easter eggs. Okay. And again, it has to do with your soul's purpose. Maybe some of you will be getting flashes of other timelines. That's going to start becoming pretty prevalent for people. But as that occurs, and as that awakening and that opening happens, we're going to have to be more and more more and more aware of the dark side trying to pretend like it's light. Right? Think back on 2012. Remember? Everyone's super high vibe. That's so fake. It's just, Now, if you're sitting there and you're wearing a t-shirt that says high vibes only, or positive good vibes only, comment below. Let me know your rationale. You don't have to explain yourself. I just want to understand, what made you get that? Why are you wearing it? Why is it on a pillow in your house? Okay. All love. But you will find, like I had a supposed friend in Colorado Springs, and she was a quintessential covert narcissist. And I didn't know about that at the time. I knew about overt narcissists. I knew about sociopaths, but I didn't know about that really sneaky type of narcissism that has a lot. You want to talk reptilian. Oof. The narcissists, I mean, it's a big discussion, but like a little bit of that in there. And this woman was so evil and just like taking advantage and acted like she owned me and would use me to like work for her and help her with things, and then completely discard me. It was disgusting. And here's the thing. Those people exist everywhere. I live in a very pretentious little town. It's one of those. It's like small town politics, and like the biggest narcissists are the ones that think they own everybody around here. And like, I don't know, it's a weird dynamic. So they're everywhere. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the times are going to be shifting. Remember, we have this stretch of a few years here where we are rebuilding. And part of that rebuilding is looking at what we already had to tear down, and looking at the destruction of that and saying, stop. Because we're going to see people trying to rebuild in a manner that things were before. And we just went through hell trying to get that stuff cleared away. So we're not going to allow that. Okay. So a lot of you are going to be activated. Okay. Yes, maybe you will realize your starseed origin. Maybe you will activate more of that DNA. Maybe you will face some memories in your cells, right? Like allowing that to be healed. So there's that part. I know some of us might be a little intrigued. I was just sharing with somebody that over the weekend I had some weird synchronicities, and I'm wearing a sweater right now, but right here on my arm, it's kind of wild. I have 3 moles that are in a perfect line. Perfect line. And then there's 1 mole down here, and that's Orion's belt, and then like Sirius down here marked very clearly on my arm. It's always been there. And I've had other kind of weird birthmarks on my body. And the reason why this was different was because I got a lot of messages around that and guided towards, someone's talking about a certain type of energy and what that symbol could mean. Also, if you have moles on your palms, I have 1 on each. Some people can get real freaked out about this. Having a mole right here is very meaningful as well. So to me, this is having a gift of the throat chakra. Everyone has their interpretation of it, but this is, it's almost like, this is such a weird thing to say, but it's almost like wearing a headset to the other side. So think about the operator who has a headset on and they're getting messages from the other side. I don't know why that just came up, but there's that. And being also very artistic, especially when it comes to communication arts. So writing, teaching, singing, all of that. Yeah. So pretty interesting. So you'll probably be having a lot of these things popping up that you kind of always knew, but now it just makes so much more sense. Now it's landing. Now, I want to segue here into some things to be aware of. And yes, this would go under the category of warnings. Now, some souls, you get turned off by that. You're like, don't tell me. Don't tell me about these things. Okay. I mean, you do what you got to do to take care of yourself, but I need to have a serious talk here. If I can help it, you will not see me on a plane for the next few months. I'm not going on an airplane. The controls were not under the control of the pilots. Now, I don't know what that was from. I think it was interference. Maybe electromagnetic interference of some sort. Confusion. And I can tell you, because we have like the Super Bowl yesterday, and it's so easy to forget all that stuff all of a sudden, right? Did we forget that a bunch of people died in New Orleans just a few weeks ago? And like a week and a half ago, here are these 2 horrible plane crashes. But I can speak a little bit more. The pilots just feeling absolute confusion, like what's going on here, and trying everything they can to control, but not realizing it was out of their control. It was out of their hands. So there will be a lot of malfunctioning going on. Now, will this look like massive power outages? Here's the thing, because there's a lot of people out there saying if the electricity went out, humans would not know what to do. I disagree. Actually, I think some people would find it very easy to adapt and maybe a little refreshing. Do you know how to forage? Do you know, herbal medicine? Do you know how to start a fire? Now, I don't know how to butcher or, hunt or whatever, but I know enough of other things. Like I could definitely figure out medicine. I could definitely figure out how to, bake a pie or something like over a campfire. I could figure all that out. So I think I'd be okay for trade, but trade off some medicine for something else. But there's a lot of you out there who are far more resilient than anybody is trying to give you credit for. But if you're trying to still be a part of this practical world, yeah, I mean, fresh water supply would be probably the biggest thing that would start being a pretty serious problem. There's just so many variables here, and I just feel so many egos battling one another that someone could always just make a decision and then we're all affected. You know what I'm saying? But the wild weather, That's no joke. I went outside this morning, guys, and I moved into a house. There's a garage, but I don't have access to it because I'm renting, and that just is taken up. And for the first time in many, many years, I don't have a garage. Well, where I parked my car, I came out, and the whole thing was coated in ice. And I'm talking the kind of ice where you can't get your car door open. The kind of ice that even though I let my car warm up for, several minutes and was out there scraping, it wasn't budging. It was crazy, So the extreme weather, the potentials for accidents, okay, and it's not just air travel. Trains might be slightly safer, but not much. Not much. And roads, basically just stay home is what I'm saying. No. Now, and I want to address people who are like, great, Michelle, I have a flight to take tomorrow. Why am I watching your stupid video? Hold on. We're going to talk too. But what I'm saying is that there's like a scrambling going on in people's brains. So you see them acting out, you see them doing something horrible, or just being crazy on the road, those kinds of things. In some cases, they can't help it. I know, please don't come for me and go, hey, you're making excuses for bad behavior. If you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that's not my game. I do not do that. I've had a habit of hitting the mute button by accident. So I just want to make sure that that's not on. That would be awful. So be careful with any kind of travel. Pay attention to your instincts. If you feel like you want to reschedule your flight, see if you can. But if you're going to travel, Archangel Raphael. Now, Raphael is normally known for the heart center, healing, soulmates, that sort of thing. But Raphael helps you with travel. And Metatron, any of the archangels and your guardian angels will help you with travel. Okay, so don't worry about that. And if you can, carry a piece of amethyst. Now, I would highly recommend that you have a tumbled piece of amethyst because in my travels, I collect up crystals from wherever I go. And if I have a raw piece, especially a raw piece that has some metal running through it, you're going to get stopped. Now, I've always had pleasant conversations with TSA. One dude was actually quite enamored with the crystal collection that I brought through in my bag. But, you don't want any trouble. Okay. But amethyst helps to keep you protected on your travels. And it's such a simple stone to have. It's good for so many different things. Other things like hematite might be really good. But that's more to protect you from negative energies at the airport or from that jerk who gets on the plane and thinks that they can just boot you out of your seat because their life is more important than yours. Or whatever they got going on is more important than you, right? So that's more of that. So that's the warning I want to give. So air travel specifically, be careful. If you're in the military, make sure you are really, really, how do I say this? You do whatever you can to keep a clear head. So clearly that would be things like don't drink if you can help it. Having a little something here and there, that's not terrible. But I'm talking like try to keep a clear head. Okay. Don't do anything that's going to disrupt your clear thinking. And have contingency plans. If you are in a situation where I hesitate because I don't know what it's like to be in the military, and I really shouldn't be speaking on this. I'm just going with what is coming through. So Archangel Michael is typically associated with the military. Again, Metatron's helping everybody. Okay, so Metatron's just in here. Sandalphon is in here helping everybody. So we have a whole army of helpers, not just angels and archangels, and our spirit guides, but also light beings that are here. They are not incarnated. They're just kind of watching the planet. They've come closer and they're here to help as well. So military people, I want you to be even more cautious than you already have to be. And, doing your spiritual work. I remember I sent a package to someone overseas, and I think I maybe freaked them out with this spiritual talk, but we're in a very different age now. It's not like I preached to them about spirituality. It was just like a cute little thing. Like, here you go. This was, the stone that used to be put in warriors' breastplates to protect them. And, and I put this little thing in there and And I made a little pouch if they wanted to have it somewhere. It was portable kind of thing. But again, they probably thought I was a stone cold weirdo. But that's fine. But now it's different. It's okay to be out there. It's okay to be open. And authenticity is going to be rewarded. Now, rebellion. Let's go into that. Make sure rebellion does not go into self-righteousness. Oh, God, I'm thinking of so many examples of people who are self-indulgent, self-centered. What does self-indulgence mean? Oh, I'm going to talk about my boyfriend for the 20 millionth time. I don't care. Pardon me. I don't care what anybody else is thinking or feeling. I don't care if everybody else is bored. I want to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it. Maybe for you, being self-indulgent is yelling about politics, which is not helpful. No, it's not. That's not real rebellion. So this gets into this is already a long video and I want to pull some cards, but just make sure you're not being self-centered and self-righteous. And I should have picked up these cards first. Okay. So that was a whole ordeal. Stuff started falling down. Anyway, I was talking about being self-righteous and self-indulgent. And no, it's not self-indulgent if you're using an example in your life to relate to somebody. You're allowed to talk about yourself, okay? But just be careful. There's going to be so much trying to suck the life force out of you. Oh, be careful. And our food supply, especially here in the U.S. If you guys are watching from around the world, you know that joke of all Americans are fat. The more and more we're learning, it's not funny to make that joke. It's not funny. You know how... I mean, I'm trying to edit here and not be too outlandish with what I'm saying, but the food is not healthy. And I'm not talking about people just going and getting a burger. I'm talking like messing with our chemistry so much that we're now craving things that might be poisonous. You know what I'm saying? So take it easy. Take it easy. You know, a lot of people are struggling here. So let's get some cards. Crucifixion. All right. So this actually feels like there could be something. Maybe some of you feel like this. Like you have been crucified for your beliefs. You've been mocked, mimicked. You know, like some people try to copy what you do. I literally had somebody, this was years ago, who was copying me word for word and creating their own social media channel. And somebody else pointed it out to me. And when I saw that, I was more saddened than anything, because here's this beautiful soul who doesn't realize that they could just be themselves and, you know, it'd be wonderful. So, you know, just keep in mind and watch out for people who are trying to like almost absorb your identity as their own. That's a big message for some of you out there. But this could also be going after, I'm telling you, if you have a big exhibition of wealth, careful with that. Careful. People are wanting a change and they're sick of it being flaunted in their faces. So that's a message there. Then we have the beloved. And it's interesting. I was just talking about Archangel Raphael. This is sort of the soulmate card. So we are reconnecting with people that we might have known from another time space continuum, baby. Another timeline. But it's not in that like, isn't this cute? We had a past life together. That's happening. You and I probably had a past life together. It's pretty common, actually. This is more like there's stars on this, going back to that starseed energy, that starseed message. So people finding others that they feel completely at home with, which is going to be quite unusual, I think. I don't think we're too used to that anymore. All right. Mythic reality. Boy, are we waking up. We are waking up. We're seeing the story. We have been fed. We're saying no more. We're not accepting it. And be careful, because see how, what are those tracks? Sort of. I mean, it kind of looks like railroad tracks. going towards something that's supposed to be, I almost want to say the promised land. So there could be something around all of that, okay? But here's where your blessings lie. To me, this almost feels like, here, you want the big house in the sky and you want to look down on everybody else. That's where the happiness lies. And that's not what it is. Okay. And there's all these like orbs. This card is fascinating. I had no idea. There are all those orbs in that card as well. I don't know if you can see that. And not all of them feel like they're friendly. A little bit of thought control going on there. All right. Illumination. Here's how we're coming out of it. We are coming out of it and we are starting to reconnect with our lost selves. Lost on a cellular level, DNA level, a spiritual level. I just, as I was saying that, I think I made something or someone angry because I feel like I just inhaled a bunch of smoke. I'm fine. Everything's fine. But, you know, things like that might happen. And then finally, intimacy. So to me, I mean, we do have the beloved card there, and then we have intimacy. This could be you trusting and opening up again and being ready to connect with others, being ready to accept love, being ready to be adored, but not in an egotistical way. If you are just one of these narcissistic people, you already know your lives are falling apart. You're just in denial about it. Honestly, I mean, I see it everywhere where I know somebody who they get on social media. They're always doing that little birthday montage thing, but they center themselves. Like theirs is the biggest face in all the happy birthday posts. Like, so bizarre. How can you possibly be happy? Because you're not having real connections with anybody. Because you need constant validation for yourself. Like, how exhausting. All right. Now, I could say so much more on this, but this is already a longish video. What I want to pose to all of you out there, do you think you're a starseed? What kind of starseed? Do you think I'm a starseed? If so, what's your guess? Given what I told you about my moles. What would you say about my moles? Okay. Or what questions do you have? What do you feel like is coming? What are you experiencing? Try to use this as a platform for pure connection. And I will set the intention right now that anybody who is an energy vampire, a dark soul, anybody who's just in here, I can already feel them laughing, but anybody in here who's just trying to feed off of others, you are banished. You are not to be here. We'll deal with you as needed. All right. So we're going to leave it there. I'm sending you all so much love and take care.